Hey guys, it's the holiday season, and that means wrapping paper and tubes. Do you ever take the tubes and just start attacking someone else with them like it's a lightsaber? Well, I thought you did because we all do. And that brings me to a very old classic game, Episode 1 Star Wars Clash of the Lightsabers card game. I'm going to show you a little bit about it. Here's how you play. Okay, so here is Episode 1 Star Wars Clash of the Lightsabers card game. A fun little game that I had picked up actually at an antique store, but you can find it readily available on Amazon for probably about 10 bucks or less. This is everything that comes in the game. You get these 10 final duel cards representing Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn, and they're numbered basically 1 to 5, and you get these two really nice pewter figures of each of the characters, and you use these basically as trackers for the game. They'll be starting on 1, and then as each battle round is won, a person will advance their character, and the first person to advance their character to the 5th spot will be the winner. You get the 2 battle decks, the Sith and the Jedi, if you will. They're basically symmetrical. They all have pretty much the same thing in them. They have attack values of 1. You can see the attacks here. They've got attack values of 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then they have a lot of special ability cards. They do different things. Like Use the Force lets you draw 2 cards. You have the Sith Lord, so when you play it, you draw 1 card and play it immediately. You have some that let you discard cards from your hand, and then any number of cards, and then redraw cards. Each player has 1 of these cards in their deck. It's worth a 6 in value for dealing out adding to your attack, but also it has an additional ability where you have to discard all your cards in your hand, and you redraw that many cards if you have any left. But anyway, there's a bunch of different abilities, but I'm just going to give you the quick lowdown of kind of how it works. Each player will deal themselves 7 cards. I'll just kind of set these to the side over here. Sorry about all that. Not pre-shuffling. But what each player is going to do is they're going to examine their hand, and then they're going to take, 3 cards to represent 3 battle rounds for the complete, to see who wins this entire round of battle. So you're actually going to pre-select. And what happens is you're going to fight this one first, this one second, and this one third. The player to win 2 out of 3 wins that round and will advance their character 1 spot. So what happens is when everybody's made their decisions and locked in, they flip up the card. Like will be round 1. The players can agree which way they want to go. I usually let the player who's newest start from left to right. So if this player is the newest, I would be this player, because I would say it's easier for someone, to read left to right. So anyway, this has attack of 1, this has attack of 3. Well, the battle will continue because, no one has conceded this particular part of the battle. So the person that has the weaker hand will have to play a card to bring it up to the level or past the level or whatever they want to do. So let's say this character plays a 3. That brings their power to 4. This player is now considered winning the battle. So now this player will have to make a decision. They can concede the battle, or they can continue. So let's say they said, you know what, I've got some good cards, so I'm going to play a 3. That makes it 6 to 4. Qui-Gon Jinn is considered winning the battle. So now this player says, you know what, I'm going to play this ability, Block. And Block says you can remove any one of these cards from the other character. So he says, remove that. That goes to the discard pile. Now this player is now winning 4 to 3. Well, he's like, man, I don't know about this. So he says, you know what? The player playing Qui-Gon Jinn says, I will concede this battle. So he just moves his cards away. And these cards are no longer pertinent, except for it just keeps track of 1 out of 3 was winning. So then they both go to the next part of the battle and reveal their cards, 5 versus 2. This character's like, wow. This is a pretty tough one. Well, I'm going to bump this up to 6. 6 to 5. This character says, ooh, I don't know. I only have 2 cards left, but he's going to play a special card called Retreat. In this instance, the card Retreat says that you concede this battle, but you get to return all cards but the Retreat card to your hand. So that 5 will return to this player's hand, and the Retreat card will be placed in his discard pile. Then you'll move to the third part. Now it's 1-1 in this battle. So whoever wins this battle will win it. Oh, okay, so this is tied at 2. And this is what happens when you have a tie battle. You both will play cards simultaneously. So they both play a card simultaneously. Oh, it's both a 5. Well, that's a 7, so you do it again. So then you play a card simultaneously again. Now this is both players' last cards in their hand. Now this is a 2 over here, or let's see, so that's 9 to 7, but this is the Darth Sidious special card, and there's Obi-Wan that does the same thing in the other deck, but it gives this character times 2 to the power. So instead of having 7 over here, it's actually 14 to 9. This character would win, and that would make Darth Maul the winner, so he would advance the character 1 spot. Now I want to talk about a couple little things. If this player had ended up winning all 3 battles, because you have to play out the last one, then instead of moving 1 spot, you would move the character 2 spots if they happen to win all 3. So you have to keep an eye on that. At the end of each round, you draw 7 more cards, because it's pretty interesting you don't discard any cards left over, because that gives you a chance to concede your battle and your hand can grow. So for instance, if this character still had 1 card left in their hand and they would draw 7, they would now have 8 and they would have only 7. So sometimes it's smart to move or to concede certain situations. Another instance I wanted to share with you is, let's say during one of the battles, this character has a 3 and a 2 for a 5 attack power, and it had gone like this. I guess they would have revealed. They would reveal like this at the beginning. Oh, okay. That's a 5 attack to 3 attack that they're winning here. But this character plays a 2. Well, they're tied at 5. But they have tiebreaker because they have more cards in their line. Even if it's a force power, then this player would have to either concede or play another card to continue. The last little rule that's pretty important is if both players play either simultaneously or reveal, which would be simultaneously as well, if I can find one here, if they both play a force power at the same time or had revealed at the same time, those both cards are canceled, and then both players will play a card again at the same time. So if both players play special cards, they're started over. And that's pretty much the simple of it. You play 3, and the winner of each round will advance 1 or 2 if they happen to win all 3. And the first character to move all the way to the end will be the winner, just like it happened in the movies. And that's how you play Star Wars Episode 1 Clash of the Lightsabers card game.